I'm Tamron McDermott, and I'm the Campus Arts Associate. So the process for selecting an artist for MRI actually started back in January, where we had a public art academy and invited all of our 8 partners to participate and learn a little bit more about commissioning a work of public art, how to work with artists, what the selection process looked like. And then from there, we put a call out for artists, and we received 157 applications.
Yes, so we did a national call for artists, and in this field that means essentially advertising to a number of different organizations, publications that artists refer to when looking for these types of calls. It was a request for qualifications.
What they put out first was a request for qualifications, and so we put together a small packet of information for that. One of the things we do as a collective is continually look for new opportunities, and we saw this one listed, and it was particularly interesting to us, the different possibilities. I think their Campus Arts was going through the selecting process with 8 different partners.
Yeah, it was posted online. I think you found it. The partners, and we were definitely excited about Material Research Institute in particular.
Yeah.
So your background is in fibers, and my background is in a little bit of science, and so it seemed like a nice marriage of those things.
Yeah.
Campus Arts gathered the artist submissions to present to the super jury.
The super jury was comprised of 16 jury members, 8 of which were our campus partners, and the other 8 were invited from around the community, both within Penn State and the Commonwealth.
My name is Jennifer McCann. I'm a multimedia marketing manager for the Materials Research Institute. We are a Campus Arts partner. So there were 16 jurors, and we had a down select from over 150 artists. And it was a very quick, rapid fire down select based on different criteria. So we had maybe 15, 20 seconds to look at the artist's piece and either say yes or no. Encoded Objects was one that it seemed most of the jurors wanted and liked for their fit for the criteria that Campus Arts set out. They were ones that seemed to be in really high demand from that group. Out of 157 artists in this whole down selection process, it's pretty amazing for those final 8 who made it because of the quick, rapid-fire down select. So having Encoded Objects be one of them was very exciting for us. So after we left the super jury, we had lined up interviews, and when Encoded Objects was part of the interview process, they stood out among the 4 that we had selected.
And right away, Mike and Jonathan's work stood out to us. In particular, I was excited about some of the work that they had done. They're very data-driven, so they use a lot of data in their art, and they also like to look back at the history. And an example of that would be the water buoy project, where they were tracking the motion of the buoys as the ocean waves went by, and then they included that in the art piece. You know, obviously at the Materials Research Institute, we love data. It's what we use to prove out our scientific concepts. And Michael and Jonathan really seemed to be following in that same vein.
It was such a good fit when we saw them in this interview that we just really, really wanted them. It was a no-brainer that they were the ones we needed to get. But at the same time, it was a little nerve-wracking because we felt that everyone in that down selection process everybody wanted them, and we were afraid we weren't going to get them.
Yeah, so that was one of the tricky things about this is we knew that each artist was only going to have the bandwidth to do one project, and we felt like these guys were really good, and we thought for sure that somebody else might want to use them for their art project. But at the same point in time, we knew that we had a lot to offer them. Compared to some of the other buildings that are on campus, we had a lot of the things that we felt that they would be most interested in our building.
We're excited when we got contacted for interviews, and we were actually interviewed by 2 different departments. And we were thrilled when MRI selected us for this opportunity.
Once they interviewed those artists, they all really unanimously arrived at Encoded Objects as the best fit to work with them. And their mission and goals as artists really aligned well with the type of work and the kind of things that are happening at MRI. And so it really was a perfect partnership.